Taiwan petition seeks later school start times. THSR launches campaign for quiet car etiquette. Crowds trap visitors at Taipei water dance carnival opening. Charlie Kirk's suspected killer brought into custody. Tens of thousands march at far-right rally in London. Nepal gets first female PM after deadly unrest. South Korean workers detained in U.S. raid arrive home. Japan sets record of nearly 100,000 people aged over 100.
Hello everyone, I'm Oceana. Thank you for joining us on FUNDAY News. It is Monday, September 15th, Greenpeace Day, and here are our top stories. In local news, a public proposal in Taiwan suggests delaying junior and senior high school start times to 10 a.m. to address sleep deprivation and improve learning. Launched on September 9th, the petition quickly surpassed the support threshold, reaching 9,792 signatories by September 15th. The Ministry of Education must respond by November 14th. Taiwan high-speed rail faces complaints over loud phone calls, videos, and chatter. To promote quiet rides, staff will remind passengers on board, while signs and screens advise using headphones, keeping calls at entrances, and lowering conversation volume ahead of a new quiet car initiative. The 2025 Taipei Water Dance Carnival opened at Songshan Rainbow Bridge on September 13th, with Mayor Jiang Wan-an launching the first show. Afterwards, crowds blocked Gate 4, trapping adults and children. Police and staff cleared the area within 10 minutes. The city plans improved crowd control for future events. And in global news, a 22-year-old from Utah has been arrested for the killing of right-wing activist Charlie Kirk, who was shot dead while on stage at a university event last week. Tyler Robinson was taken into custody after a 33-hour manhunt that ended when his father helped persuade him to surrender to police. His arrest was first announced by President Donald Trump, who called for the suspect to face the death penalty. State prosecutors plan to file formal charges against Robinson on Tuesday.
I think with a high degree of certainty, we have him in custody.
The killing of Kirk, who was shot while debating students last Wednesday, has shocked Americans and laid bare the country's sharp partisan political divisions. Surveillance images showed Robinson arriving on the campus of Utah Valley University about 4 hours before a shot rang out, killing Kirk and sending students running for cover. The FBI said on Thursday that they had found the suspected weapon, an imported Mauser .3006 bolt-action rifle, wrapped in a towel in a wooded area near campus. Inscriptions were found engraved on casings recovered with the rifle, which had a scope mounted on top.
Tens of thousands of people descended on London on Saturday for what is expected to be the country's largest far-right rally in decades, organized by anti-immigration activist Tommy Robinson. The Unite the Kingdom rally comes amid a surge of nationalism in the UK, a far-right party topping the polls, and the murder of American conservative activist Charlie Kirk, an assassination Robinson has used to mobilize support in the run-up to the event.
Robinson, whose real name is Stephen Yaxley Lennon, has long inspired rallies of mostly white, mostly male followers shouting soccer-style chants against Islam and immigration. He billed the rally as Britain's largest free speech festival, and posted a video on X Saturday morning showing hundreds of people gathered in central London waving England's flag and the Union Jack. Footage released by police showed officers with riot shields pushing back a crowd of protesters. Robinson told attendees not to wear masks, drink alcohol, or be violent. The Metropolitan Police estimated about 110,000 people attended the Unite the Kingdom protest, with 5,000 at the counter-demonstration.
Nepal's former Supreme Court Chief Justice Sushila Karki has become the country's interim prime minister after deadly anti-corruption protests ousted the government. Karki was sworn in during a brief ceremony, becoming the first woman to lead the impoverished Himalayan nation after a deal was reached with protest leaders. More than 50 people were killed in clashes with riot police during this week's mass protests, sparked by a ban on social media platforms.
The ban was lifted on Monday, but by then protests had swelled into a mass movement. Angry crowds set fire to parliament and government buildings, forcing Prime Minister KP Sharma Oli to resign. The agreement between the president and protest leaders was reached after days of consultations, with legal experts also involved. Parliament was dissolved late on Friday, and it was announced that general elections would be held on the 5th of March next year. Karki is expected to appoint ministers to her cabinet within a few days. She is widely regarded as having a clean image and is being supported by student leaders from the so-called Gen Z to lead the interim government.
More than 300 South Koreans detained in a massive immigration raid at a Hyundai plant in the U.S. state of Georgia have returned home. Their return comes as the country's president and Hyundai's chief executive warned about the impact of the raid. A chartered Korean air jet carrying the workers, along with 14 non-Koreans who were also detained, took off from Atlanta on Thursday. One South Korean national has reportedly chosen to remain in the U.S. to seek permanent residency.
We are sending a clear and unequivocal message that those who exploit our workforce, undermine our economy, and violate federal laws will be held accountable.
The incident has shaken ties between the U.S. and South Korea, whose companies are investing billions in the states. The workers' departure was delayed by more than a day because of an instruction from the White House. Trump ordered the pause to check whether the workers were willing to remain in the U.S. to continue working and training Americans. A large group of journalists had gathered at the airport ahead of the workers' arrival. The workers looked happy but tired as they were brought through Incheon International Airport and shepherded onto buses to be reunited with their families.
The number of people in Japan aged 100 or older has risen to a record high of nearly 100,000. The health ministry said that the number of centenarians in Japan was 99,763 as of September, marking a new record for the 55th consecutive year. Of that total, women accounted for an overwhelming 88%. Japan has the world's longest life expectancy and is often home to the world's oldest living person, though some studies contest the actual number of centenarians worldwide.
Japan is also one of the fastest aging societies, with residents often having a healthier diet but a low birth rate. Health Minister Takamaro Fukuoka congratulated the centenarians on their longevity and expressed his gratitude for their many years of contributions to society. Of the total, 87,784 were female and 11,979 male. The figures were released ahead of Japan's Elderly Day on September 15, a national holiday when new centenarians receive a congratulatory letter and silver cup from the Prime Minister. In the 1960s, Japan had the lowest proportion of people aged over 100 among G7 countries, but that has changed remarkably in the decades since.
The answer for last Friday was B, evacuated. During the typhoon, hundreds of residents were evacuated from low-lying areas for safety. Did you answer correctly? Now let's delve into today's news. Tens of thousands march at far-right rally in London. Number 1. Bill, 宣传会. The concert was billed as the biggest music event of the year. Number 2. Rally, 集合, 反弹. Supporters gathered for a political rally in the city center. Number 3. Run-up, 前期准备. In the run-up to the election, candidates increased their campaigning efforts. Next, we have a multiple-choice question for everyone to practice. Which answer would you choose? You can write your answer in the comment section, and the correct answer will be announced tomorrow. Greenpeace is a campaign organization focused on ecological issues that has become an internationally renowned entity over the past few decades. It was originally founded by a group of 17 activists in Vancouver who protested against offshore nuclear testing in Alaska on this date in 1971. Since then, Greenpeace has become a non-governmental organization operating offices in at least 55 countries around the world. And that's all for today's FUNDAY News. Be sure to tune into FUNDAY News from Monday to Friday and click the link below to join FUNDAY for free. I'm your host, Oceana, and I'll see you next time.